Just wanted to make a short video kind of explaining an issue I had in starting the car recently and what I ended up doing to fix the problem. But first I guess I'll kind of just update everybody on the project and where I am at this point. I don't know if you can tell, but I've cleaned up some of the wiring when I first was getting it started, and still have a little bit left to do, but otherwise it's a lot cleaner than where I was. I still need to wire up the electric fans. Went ahead and just put the clutch fan back on. I don't have a shroud for it, but I really want to kind of take this thing for a drive, and I think with the coil it seems to keep things pretty cool while it idles, so I don't think I'll run into many issues when I'm driving it. Still need to come up with a more permanent solution for the battery, but this will do for now. And that's basically where I am at this point. If you saw the last video, I worked out a couple of issues that I had with the exhaust, and I have all that figured out. Basically everything under the car has been taken care of. I've topped off the fluids, it's back on all fours, still rocking the sweet OEM teardrops, and really I'm just at the point where I just would like to take it for a test drive. It's nowhere near where I'd like it to be on its first test drive, but I've had it here for a while, and I'd just really like to take it down the road and maybe just get a tank of gas or something simple. And I've recently picked up some new tags for it, so legally I can drive it. Well, I mean, I don't know how legal it is to drive without a front bumper and turn signals, but I think I'll probably just risk it. I'd really like to take it for its first test drive without a bumper, so if there are any issues when I'm driving, it'll be pretty easy to kind of take a look at things and see what's going on. So anyways, that's where the project was. I was ready to go on its first real test drive, and this happened. So I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I haven't been really good about keeping a good charge on it, and I've only driven it up and down the driveway a few times, so I figured it was just a kind of a low battery or weak battery or whatever. Headlights still came up, which was kind of weird, but I mean, it is a smaller battery, so I just went ahead, threw it on a charger, on a quick charge, came back in a few hours, and still nothing. So after doing a little bit of reading online, I've read that this ignition switch can start giving you problems after a while. I mean, these are 20-plus-year-old cars. Basically, there's a screw in here that can come loose over time, and just tightening it will kind of resolve the problem. And as you can see, mine doesn't really move that much, and I checked everything with a multimeter, and everything checked out fine. So the next thing I did is check this clutch switch that you can see up in the top left, and checked everything out, checked it with the multimeter. Everything appeared to be working like it should. So what I was assuming is that this was just an issue with the starter. Well, more specifically the solenoid. That's where I kind of figured the clicking was coming from. So swapping out a starter on one of these isn't that difficult. I happen to have an extra laying around. So I swapped the starter out and tried it again, the exact same result. If I had taken 2 seconds to actually listen to where the clicking was coming from, I would have realized that it wasn't the starter, and in fact it was actually this little blue box right here. So what this is it's a clutch interlock relay, and I'm assuming this is the original one that's been on the car. So I mean, they seem to last quite a while, but from what I've read, it's a pretty common problem with these cars, considering how old they are. So what I ended up doing is just taking a simple piece of wire and just jumping the plug, I guess is how you would call it. Basically, the larger plug that has the black and yellow and black and white wire, I just inserted the plug, or not the plug, but I inserted the wire into the plug, kind of jumping the connections and taking the relay out of the whole situation. It's not a permanent solution, but I mean it is a way to kind of test the plug to see what the problem is. And thankfully that was the problem. Again, I'm being kind of impatient. I don't have a Nissan dealership near me, so I didn't want to drive to pick one up or order one and have to wait for shipping. So I just went down to the local auto parts store and picked up an OE replacement. It's probably not going to be as good as the OEM, but at this point I just want to kind of get it running, and plugged it in and fired right up, so I was pretty happy about that. I don't know, can't say anything about this brand, but it was only like 10 or 15 bucks. Made in Taiwan, not surprised. Import direct, never heard of them, but in any case, she's back up and running, so I can finally take it for its first test drive, and I'm really looking forward to it. So aside from that, hopefully this helps a couple of you out with starting issues you may have. As you probably know, numerous reasons why your 240 isn't going to run. But in my case, this is what it ended up being, and wasted a lot of time trying to fix a few other problems that I thought it was, and just ended up being something as simple as a $15 relay. So there you have it.